Quick disclaimer, this video is not going to be as in-depth as I would like it to be because I just want to pass out right after this. So enjoy the video. I hope you guys still enjoy. Thank you. All right, a full day of the Casey Cup has officially concluded and I am at first place North America and top 10 global. I will not be playing for the rest of the weekend as I already accomplished my goal with this Casey Cup and I would like to enjoy the rest of my weekend and just prepare for the World Champ qualifier coming in May. But let's get into this video. I'll be talking over some of these replays and then showing my deck list afterward. My main goal for this Casey Cup was to check for any major changes to the Casey Cup and to test out the new ELO system that was introduced in the last KC Cup that I was away from home for. All of this in preparation for the World Champ qualifiers in May to go to Japan again. At the moment, I don't see any changes in the KC Cup and I'm very happy with the new ELO system matching you against other players that are doing well. This prevents playing against completely random decks and players, which allows me to adjust my deck and playstyle to specifically counter the meta. On this account, I was limited in my card pool. I do not have access to Sylvans, I do not have access to Masked Heroes, and I only have access to a single Girja attacker. Ideally, I would have preferred to play Masked Heroes. Now, what's the meta in the KC Cup? At the top ranks, it is all Sylvans, Girja, and Masked Heroes. I initially played Archfiends, which I later switched to Girja. Archfiends dominate Sylvans, but I eventually switched once my opponents became better and I had a more diverse meta I had to deal with between the top 3 decks. At the start of the KC Cup, my first 20k points were a joke. Very easy. Random players not playing optimally with random decks, and a lot more Sylvan players, which I was able to dominate with Archfiends. Later on, I switched to Girja. I initially was playing Girja with 3 powerful rebirths, which I then switched to Forbidden Chalice, which I then switched to Sunlight Deserts. Sunlight Desert allowed me to help win the mirror match against Girja if they go first, because otherwise it's pretty much a lost cause. One of my favorite plays to do with the powerful rebirth Girja build is if you have 3 monsters on the field from a Ties of the Brethren, you could econ take one of their monsters and you could chain your powerful rebirth, and what happens is you resummon the monster you tributed and the monster you take control of now gets sent to the graveyard. So it's a great quick removal, turns econ into destroy a monster.
Duel! Duel.
So this is the Archfiend deck. The main thing you want to do with this Archfiend deck is restart for any way to potentially summon an Archfiend Emperor. If you have Needlebug Nest and an Archfiend Roar, then you want to keep that. If you have a Call of the Archfiend and a likely way to summon Archfiend Emperor, you're going to want to keep Call of the Archfiend. Lilo worked great in this deck. Being able to destroy face down Ultimate Providences against Sylvans, that is very good. And milling to help with Call of the Archfiend and Archfiend's Roar, that is also very good. This deck is incredibly strong, incredibly powerful, incredibly broken, but not all the time. It could struggle a little bit with consistency. You either dominate your opponent or you could draw really poorly with this deck. I definitely recommend this deck if you have access to this and nothing else. I believe it's the best option to play if you do not have access to the top 3 decks, which are Sylvans, Girja, and Masked Heroes. As I said earlier, I only have a single copy of Girja Attacker. I did not have access to Sylvans. I did not have access to Masked Heroes. So this was the best deck for me to transition to from Archfiends. How did this work out? I barely noticed it. There were a few times where I wish the Girja Accelerator was an attacker, but it never conflicted with Ties of the Brethren. Desert Sunlight is a great way to get your anchor effect off on your opponent's turn. You're playing against Sylvans, you can flip it up in their draw phase and destroy their Ku Mushroom. If you're playing the Girja mirror match, they go first. Ties of Brethren, that's usually an auto loss. Now you could come back with a Girja Ties of Brethren into a Desert Sunlight. This is the best way to beat Girja if they go first. Now what makes this deck so broken? It's all about Pulse Mines and Ties of Brethren. Any hand you open up with Ties of Brethren and a Pulse Mines, you're pretty much an auto win unless it's the mirror match against Girja and they go first, which then you'll need your Desert Sunlight for. But otherwise, Pulse Mines, Ties of Brethren, at least a Girja, that's pretty much an auto win against anything.